Hello, and welcome to English Teaching Friends. My name is Maya, and I'm truly happy that you're here with me today. This podcast is created especially for English learners around the world who want to speak English with more confidence, more clarity, and more joy. In every episode, I will speak slowly and clearly so that you can follow along easily, even if you are a beginner. My goal is to help you learn in a calm, simple, and enjoyable way, step by step, day by day. So take a deep breath, relax your mind, and let's begin learning English together. Why daily practice matters. Today, we're starting with a very important topic: how to practice English every single day, even if you are busy, even if you feel shy, and even if you don't know where to start. Many learners feel stressed because they think English requires big effort, long study hours, or perfect grammar. But the truth is much simpler. You don't need 2 hours a day. You don't need to memorize long lists of vocabulary. You don't need complicated grammar books. What you need is a small amount of consistent daily practice. Just like going to the gym, small and steady effort creates real progress. When you practice English a little bit every day, your brain becomes more comfortable with the language. Your ears recognize sounds faster, and your confidence grows naturally. English becomes something familiar, not something scary. That is why daily practice matters, and that is where your journey begins. The power of slow listening. One of the most powerful tools for learning English is something very simple: slow listening. Many people think that fast videos or difficult movies will help them improve quickly. But when the language is too fast, your brain becomes stressed and you understand very little. Slow listening is different. When you listen to slow, clear English, your brain has time to understand the words. You can hear the pronunciation. You can hear the rhythm. You don't feel lost, you feel calm. Slow listening helps you learn naturally, just like children who listen before they speak. That's why in this podcast, I speak slowly and clearly, giving you time to process each sentence. Over time, this simple practice makes your mind stronger and more confident in English. Now, let's talk about a very simple English routine that you can follow every day. This routine takes only about 15 minutes, but if you follow it daily, it can change your English completely. Start with the first 3 minutes of your day. Listen to something in English. Maybe this podcast, maybe a short English story, maybe a simple conversation. The goal is not perfection. The goal is exposure. Just let the language enter your mind gently. Your brain begins to wake up to English. Next, for the next 3 minutes, practice speaking out loud. You don't need a partner. You can speak to yourself. You can describe how you feel, what you want to do today, or what you see around you. Say simple things like, "Good morning. I feel happy today," or "I want to learn something new." Speaking activates your mouth, your tongue, and your confidence. Then, for the next 4 minutes, read something easy in English. It could be a small paragraph, a short article, or even a children's story. Reading out loud, even quietly, helps connect the words in your eyes with the sounds in your ears. After that, spend 2 minutes writing something very short, just 1 or 2 sentences. For example, "Today I practiced English for 10 minutes," or "I learned a new word today." Small writing builds big confidence. Finally, spend the last 3 minutes reviewing one simple sentence and repeating it several times. Something like, "I can improve my English every day," or "I am getting better step by step." Repetition makes your brain remember. And that is your 15-minute routine. Easy, simple, but very powerful. Removing fear and building confidence. Now let's talk about something that stops many learners: fear. Many people feel afraid to speak English because they worry about making mistakes, sounding funny, or speaking slowly. But I want you to remember a very important truth. Mistakes are part of learning. You cannot improve without making mistakes. The only people who never make mistakes are people who never try. Think about a child learning to walk. They fall many times. They stand, they fall, they try again. But nobody laughs at them. We smile, we support them. We say, "Good job, keep trying." Learning English is exactly the same. When you try, you grow. When you speak, you improve. When you make mistakes, you learn. So I want you to let go of fear. You do not need perfect English. You need progress. You need practice. And most importantly, you need patience and kindness toward yourself. You are learning, and that is something to celebrate. Small habits that change your English. Let's explore a few small habits you can use to improve your English quickly. These habits are simple, but when you do them every day, they make a huge difference. The first habit is to change your phone's settings to English. This small step exposes you to English vocabulary hundreds of times a day. You see words like settings, notifications, search, update, and photos. Over time, these words become natural and familiar. The second habit is to try thinking in English for a few minutes a day. When you wake up, instead of thinking in your native language, try thinking simple English sentences like, I need to brush my teeth, or it's a sunny day, or I have work today. Thinking in English trains your brain to process the language automatically. The third habit is to watch short English videos, maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute. Choose something easy. Watch it once for understanding, then watch it again. Repetition helps your brain learn the language naturally. The fourth habit is to learn just one new word a day. Not 10 words, not 20, just one. If you learn one word a day, that's 365 new words in 1 year. That is real progress. And the fifth habit is to speak for 5 minutes a day. You can speak to a mirror, speak to your phone, speak to your pet, or speak to a friend. It doesn't matter who. What matters is that you practice using the language. Before we move on, I want to talk about something that many learners forget: your mindset. The way you think about English has a powerful effect on how well you learn it. A successful language learner is not the person with the best grammar or the biggest vocabulary. A successful learner is the person who stays curious, patient, and open to learning. They don't try to be perfect. They try to improve a little every day. They speak even when they feel shy. They keep practicing even on days when they are tired. They understand that English is not something you learn in a week. It is something you grow into slowly. When you treat English like a friend you're getting to know instead of like a school subject that you must memorize, everything becomes easier. Learning becomes enjoyable, and you begin to notice progress without even trying too hard. What to do when you feel stuck? Many learners experience something called a plateau, a moment when you feel like you're not improving anymore. You understand some English, but you feel stuck. This is very normal. Every language learner goes through it. When you feel stuck, the most important thing is not to stop. Instead, change your approach just a little. Try a new podcast. Repeat sentences out loud. Watch a short video. Write something simple. You don't need to make big changes. Small changes wake up your brain and help you move forward again. And remember, you are not stuck because you are failing.
You are stuck because your brain is preparing for the next level. Whenever you push through a plateau, your English becomes much stronger afterward. Why consistency is more important than time. Before we begin today's small challenge, I want to remind you of something important. Consistency matters more than the amount of time you study. It's better to practice English for 10 minutes every day than to study 2 hours once a week. Your brain learns best through regular, gentle exposure. Think of plants. You don't pour a bucket of water on them once a week. You give them a little water consistently. Your English grows the same way. Every small effort counts. Every minute of listening counts. Every sentence you speak counts. Consistency is your real superpower. Now, I want to give you a simple challenge that you can start today. This challenge has only 3 parts, and they are very easy. First, I want you to listen to this episode again, or listen to another episode of this podcast. Listening twice helps your brain understand more. Second, I want you to choose 3 simple English sentences and repeat each one 10 times throughout the day. For example, I can improve my English. I'm getting better every day. I like learning English. These positive sentences build your confidence and create a strong learning mindset. Third, I want you to write 1 small sentence about your day in English. It can be anything. Today, I learned a new phrase. Or, I practiced English for 15 minutes. Or, I understand more than before. Writing helps you remember what you learned. This challenge is easy, simple, and powerful. And you can start it right now. The mindset of a successful language learner. Before we move on, I want to talk about something that many learners forget. Your mindset. The way you think about English has a powerful effect on how well you learn it. A successful language learner is not the person with the best grammar or the biggest vocabulary. A successful learner is the person who stays curious, patient, and open to learning. They don't try to be perfect. They try to improve a little every day. They speak even when they feel shy. They keep practicing even on days when they are tired. They understand that English is not something you learn in a week. It is something you grow into slowly. When you treat English like a friend You're getting to know. Instead of like a school subject that you must memorize, everything becomes easier. Learning becomes enjoyable. And you begin to notice progress without even trying too hard.
Final encouragement. Learning English is not a straight line. Some days you feel confident. Some days you feel confused. Some days everything makes sense. And some days you feel like you're starting from the beginning. This is normal. This is part of the journey. What matters most is that you keep going. Every time you listen to English, even for a few minutes, you are improving. Every time you speak, even if you make mistakes, you are learning. Every time you understand a little more than yesterday, you are growing. Remember that language learning is a slow, natural process. You can't always see the progress immediately, but it is happening. Think about how plants grow. When you look at them every day, you don't see big change. But after 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, you suddenly realize how much bigger they have become. Your English is growing the same way, quietly, consistently, and beautifully. So be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Celebrate the small victories and trust that your effort is working. You are learning. You are improving, and you are much closer to fluency than you think. Closing. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I'm grateful that you chose English Teaching Friends as part of your learning journey. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and join me again for the next lesson. Until then, take care, stay positive, keep practicing, and always remember you are improving every single day. Goodbye, my friend.